I had to go to Kaiser to get my annual lab test from my physical this morning. Here's my Kaiser lab test hack. The lab opens at 8. Get there at 7:15 if you don't want to wait in line for an hour or two. Maybe 7:30. Get there first in line, second in line, third in line. I think I was third or fourth today, so I only had to wait like 15 or 20 minutes. But I had to get there a half hour, 45 minutes early, right? The healthcare system is so broken that you have to hack it. You have to hack it by getting there an hour early. You have to hack it by harassing the Kaiser and the doctors, and you have to advocate for yourself. And even then, the system 98% of the time fails you. I pay a premium. Here in California, my premium, I'm in excellent shape. I never use the system, okay? I exercise, I meditate, I eat well. I'm in excellent shape, okay? I'm still paying $15,000 a year. And all I do is get an annual physical and an annual lab test. And I do nothing else in that system. So what a ripoff. It's just a total ripoff. And if something should happen to me that's serious, or happen to you that's serious, will they cover it? Or will they deny the coverage? Or what will the copay be? Or what will the deductible be? So, off to the healthcare system, bracing myself, making sure I don't get too angry while I'm there and take it out on the poor people that work there who are just probably trying to make a living, who walk into a awful situation every day and, do their best. But no wonder they're mean and no wonder they're frustrated. I'm frustrated. I'm walking in there already mad and the richest country in the world, and the richest country in the history of the world, and we still can't figure out healthcare in year 2025. That's my healthcare rant. I'm sure you have one too. Leave a comment. Let's get mad, people. It's the only way we're going to change it.
Mamdani showed us how it's done. Gathered up his community. Volunteers and change agents won. That's a blueprint to be free.